Washington are warning of dire consequences and major disruptions that will rock our already fragile economy. We're talking about $85 billion worth of across-the-board government budget cuts. Take a listen.
The White House is sounding the alarm. Poor children will be tossed out of classrooms. Health services will be slashed. Border security will be compromised. And the economy will take a hit if forced budget cuts begin to happen on March 1st. The Obama administration says Republicans will be to blame.
The choice that Republicans are making is throw these people out of work in order to protect these special tax breaks for corporate jet owners and oil and gas companies. It makes no sense.
But when pressed on whether the president has his own plan to stop the cuts, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney pointed to the grand bargain Mr. Obama failed to reach with House Speaker John Boehner 2 years ago.
When you ask where's the president's plan, it's been there. It's on whitehouse.gov. It is in the proposal that he submitted to the Speaker of the House. The Speaker walked away from, that everyone here represented is, or most people here understood to be
budget plan for the long term.
That's the big deal.
Where is the president to prevent sequestration from happening?
The president supports
the president take the lead and present that.
The president's, well, first of all, Congress has to act.
Less than 2 months since the fiscal cliff that resulted in tax increases on wealthier Americans, budget brinkmanship is back. In an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, Boehner notes the idea for the automatic cuts originated in the White House, adding, Mr. President, we agree that your sequester is bad policy. What spending are you willing to cut to replace it? The White House fires back, pointing out Boehner seemed satisfied when it was all set in motion 2 years ago as part of the debt ceiling deal of 2011.
And when you look at this final agreement that we came to with the White House, you know, I got 98% of what I wanted. I'm pretty happy.
The GOP responded by emailing out an interview featuring the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, Max Baucus, saying the president shares some of the blame as well.
The president is part of the sequester. The White House recommended it, frankly, back in August 2011. And so now we're feeling the effects of it.
With the clock ticking down on the verge of yet another crisis, President Obama says he's ready to make a deal that would delay the cuts.
So my door is open. I've put tough cuts and reforms on the table. I'm willing to work with anybody to get this job done.
And joining me now with reaction to this sequester, or could be sequester cuts, is 2nd District Congressman Tim Griffin, talking about, really, I want to know just whose idea was the sequester cuts in the first place. How did we get here?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, the president came up with this idea, and a lot of people have wanted compromise from Washington. This is compromise. This is what happened in August of 2011. And when you compromise with the president, some of his ideas are going to be part of the deal. This was one of his ideas. I think it's a bad idea generally. And in the House, the big problem with it is we believe that it hurts national security too much. And so we've passed a couple of bills that would spread the cuts out across the federal government more generally.
And Tim, when you talk about cuts, we're talking about cuts to a lot of programs here. We're talking about, yesterday I tried to do the cuts to the Head Start program. 63,000 children could be cut from Head Start. Others are the FDA, the TSA screeners, and most of all, the military. We have Dustin Barnes out at Camp Robinson this morning with their deployment.
Sure.
What do we do?
Sure. Well, let me say a couple things to provide a little context. First of all, we need to reduce our spending, there's no doubt. The issue with this sequester, the president's idea, was that it really hits the national security heavily, or heavier than the others. And we passed 2 bills in the House to even the cuts around the government. Those bills have gone nowhere in the Senate. The president's done nothing on those. So, but a little context is important here. We're not rolling back the budget to 1908. We're rolling it back to 2008 levels. In 2008, the airports were working. The border was about as it is now. So a little context is important. It's about a 3% reduction overall. And again, I agree that it shouldn't hit defense so heavily. But I will say this about the level generally, the $1.2 trillion over 10 years. If we, with the $16 trillion debt, if we cannot find 3 cents on every dollar with all of the money that the federal government wastes, If we can't cut 3 cents on every dollar, then how in the world are we ever going to be able to address our $16 trillion debt? And so, again, I agree it hits national security too heavily, and we're working to fix that. But we got to have some context here in terms of this is the president's running around acting like we're going back to 1908 budgets. We're going back a few years.
Okay.
And it was his idea. So to try to put it on Republicans is just ridiculous.
If this is not resolved, what will this mean, real quick, and how much time do we have?
Well, again, I think we need to address the national security side of it, and we've done that, and we're waiting on the president. But let me just say this. I think it will go into effect, and what will happen, it'll be the first time we've cut spending in a serious way in a long time.
All right.
Well,
all right, Congressman, thanks for coming out, and thanks for giving us your reaction on this, and we'll look to see what happens.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great day. All right, somebody's got to do the math. We'll find out later what happens.